What's up, Frankie? Nobody's in here, so I can expose you. How are you, brother? I'm looking at some of the news, some of the charts. We've got some cool stuff to talk about. I mean, very repetitive, but it's at least some updating to do. How's it going, Kenny? There's the man of the hour. What's up, Mario? How are you doing, brother? And there goes the second one as well, Peter. What's good, brother? Today could have been worse. Yes, indeed. In fact, I was reporting in the community tab literally at 5 in the morning that it was supposed to be like their setup, the setup, and I post. You could see it written there. The setup was to bring us down underneath 17. It was day like it was the most clear options chain ever. But where the weird part was, it was in the books, in the orders, in the spread. Um, it was completely outrageous. They somehow, obviously it's nothing new, but they kept getting saved by the bell at the last moment by borrowing out of nowhere. I mean, if you check the numbers and see the shares that were left or available to borrow, we were used to seeing millions of shares normally. And this morning in the pre-market, we were looking. I was looking at a point where it was down to 50,000, and even that was borrowed. And they utilized it, and we were gonna rip. I mean, we got as far as almost 6% in the pre-market. Um, and that was with all the borrowing they were doing. I mean, they were working early this morning, guys. Um, and then, of course, after the market opened up, um, that's when I finally went to sleep afterwards. As soon as I saw the market open up, when I saw what they were getting, what they were borrowing, what they were able to get so they can throw at us, I was like, wow. Well, that theory of the the options chain with all the, I mean, the puts, it was just so as day as light. Um, it just, for some odd reason, I never, it never feels good for me to well, first of all, I've never shorted AMC, but I never even bought a put on AMC or GameStop. It's just uh, like a call, yes. Um, it, it's but never, like, never puts and whatever. It's kind of like it's kind of like I want the price to fly, but yet I'm trying to enjoy it. Again, it goes very against the very own essence of the theories that I've been breaking down to you guys. Like that reason why I don't day trade AMC or GameStop was mainly because my interest is for it to fly, not to go down. So the idea of trying to profit out of it for now, even on the way down, that just doesn't gel well with me. I'm doing that. You could do that, guys, with thousands of other stocks. Like I've given you many so far. I've given you like NutX. You remember I've been talking about it for two almost 3 days now with today, and it was the easiest short, the easiest stock to short, and today you've seen it. I mean, it went up to what, $46 at some point, and today it's at like 15, 16, $17. You know how much money that would have made you if you had a good amount of investment, like 10, 15K, and you put that on there. You're set for the year. And it was easy. That nut X stuff, like, it was so easy. It's just, that it was, there was no dynamics, no fundamentals behind that play. So therefore, it pumped. Like I've been telling you guys how they get money in these repo and reverse repo operations to pump stocks so they can make their money. and also pay the broker apps that like the Mumus, the Weebles, the Robinhoods for payment for order flow, and then they get that money that they made after they pumped whatever stock and dumped it within that same day till the next day. And then they go back and pay the main institution, like the financial institution they got the money from. And the financial institution goes back to the Fed and says, here's your cut. Everybody makes money. Um, so yeah, I would just never do it with AMC or GameStop. Let me read some comments before I continue running like, crazy like yesterday and then not able to catch up. Where's everybody? Ain't even anybody live right now, as far as I know of. I don't know. I didn't check. I had you guys in mind. um, so chilling. That's good. Missed the last couple lives, bro. Sorry. Oh, come on. Don't give me that, Kenny. We don't. Family does not apologize to each other because no matter what, the intentions are always good. Hopefully everything is good. If you missed the last two lives, in fact, my mind is not on you missing. It's hopefully everything is okay. If there's anything you need, you let us know, brother. Slowly the liquidity is drying up. My guess. Summer we rip and finally end this nightmare. Peter, there's a lot of truth to that. It's a big possibility for sure. I mean, in more than one way. There's like fundamentally that there's like the cat system that goes in that screws the market maker from trying to continue to screw us over. And we're gonna talk about. You see how the stocks are still going down. Um, this has happened more than once, and when I break it down a little bit more to you now, you're gonna be like, yeah, this is a pattern. Wow, I didn't look at it this way. And perhaps you probably looked at it that way. Um, let's see. Mr. L, what's up, Wolfman? How is the wolf? How's the wolf family? Uh, how are you? And bro, Yahoo Finance just came out with an article yesterday about AMC investors are moving to options. Hedges are totally gonna push the options narrative. You are absolutely correct, brother. They want more and more people to jump in right now because when the truth of the matter is it's not their best interest for people to play options, correct? That's one thing I like you should know. Because they're already hurting on the fact that there's so many stocks that are held and they want everybody to sell their stocks, right? Well, so that they can get out of this short nightmare. Well, no one is selling. The second worst thing that could happen is for people to also get options and play them correctly, and then they're even a worse nightmare than they even began with. But they're pushing this narrative because they know the idea that most people are gonna most retail are gonna play and act like it's like a gambling mindset where they will just YOLO out and not know what strike price is, what dates, what times, and not understand much about the extrinsic value of the contracts and all the Greeks that go into it, which means that brings more liquidity to the market maker and to the people that you're buying and whoever's writing these contracts up, the premiums, whoever's going to collect the premiums besides the market maker, because he's doing his thing. The spread, he's making a killing off the spreads left and right. So yes, they're definitely like pushing that narrative because they know it's kind of like a casino putting out or sending you. I've seen it like they used to do it to you know to my father's friend when we first came here to the US, like a long time when I was a kid. It was in New York, and I was, when I was a kid, and we would look like he would always get letters in the mail, and they would always be, because we were in New York, it was from Atlantic City in New Jersey, so he would get like all these letters with coupons like free buffets, free 3 night stay at the casino, in their 4 or 5 star hotel, free everything, just come. And basically, what happens there. He just goes there, and I can't begin to tell you like how that friend of my father, he lost all his life. Uh, he lost his family eventually. He lost everything. I mean, the guy he had a cab limo service business So he was making a lot of money from that. You know, Manhattan, having a lot of of those. He had like I think like 10 or 15 limousine, but they're like in the cab service. So a lot of those Wall Streeters or those rich Manhattaneers, that's what I always called them, Manhattaneers. They would go there rather than calling a regular cab or something, and they make a lot of money. But unfortunately for him, majority of that money, if all that money, went straight to the casinos, and that's how it is. So the options chain, if you don't know what you're doing, and even then you're still like you still lose even if you know every like if you're the most. I don't consider myself the biggest expert or the most expert in options, and even then I can tell you that even the best of the best will take some losses here and there, no matter how perfect they are in options. Even if you're playing the safest, even if you're playing the covered calls or the covered puts, like, which is the easiest thing and the safest thing, is just at the end of the day you're going to take some losses here and there. But if you know exactly what you're doing, your profits are going to outweigh your losses. But again, the risk and the play is you're always on edge basically with options. So that's what the mindset. They're trying to push you to the casino. Just come to the options chain. Then after that, we take care of the rest. We'll give you everything free. Just come. Just come. And that is correct, Mr. L. Ridwan, how are you, brother? Yes, all is well. I hope all is well as with you as well. Uh, would you do a long on a stock if it's below the 200 EMA? And do you use the 5 minute or 1 minute? Ridwan, here's the thing. I don't like too much into the technical analysis, and I'll give you why. Like, yes, I show you guys sometimes, but for major bullish uh, short squeeze like this, I don't look like on many of the other stocks. I don't look at their bouncing points and when they're gonna move and all that stuff too much, because like I told you before, I look for events and I see value in the company's sheets. Like, I look everything up in the company, similar to ater, ater. And by the way, I'm gonna get to your question as well, but I'm giving you the example. So ater, remember before on that day that is squoze, like that 40-50%, which is not a squeeze, but we'll just say it's squoze. I told you guys in that video that the very next day it wasn't going to continue that squeeze, but it's going to be a little bit of cool off. If you were one of the people that were in, you probably remember that. You can fact check that. You guys can go back a little bit and check on that live stream. But since I don't think actually it was a live stream. I think it was that stocks update video. So I said the next day it was going to cool off, and that's when I'm going to choose the perfect time on that day, and that's where I'll place my calls. And when you saw what happened yesterday, nothing happened. Today, you've seen that run come out of nowhere, and believe it or not, without all this manipulation that is happening and all that craziness, it was supposed to go way, way, way more than that 10%. But it's still in that squeeze playground, and that's why I chose the time to get that, because my calls got I filled them in at a much better rate rather than chasing. First, my strategy is always to confirm the monster move up. I don't look for, like, my thing is, this is the best way to put this. My thing is, I don't like to put my money, especially in these times. This is volatile times. You're gonna always have crazy moves to the up or to the down on many stocks. When the markets are normal and things go back to normal, which is who knows, probably in a year or two, there is still a market afterwards. You'll see that movement will be extremely, extremely, extremely different. Like, trust, like, I've been in the market since before 2018, and I've seen it then, and how, like, how the line moves and everything. So it was hard to come by a very nice move. So back then we really had to pay attention even more to the EMA and everything. But right now I don't. I'm looking for events. Right now I just look for events. I see the events. I'm already in the MC and GME. I look more into the options chain because I see more profits out of my time into the options chain. I understand I don't want to push you guys or push anyone to no options chain. But you asked me the question, so I'm answering my personal point of view. Um, and I look at all the minutes whenever I do look at the charts, I look at everything. I look at the 5 minute, I look at the 1 minute, I look at even the 1 hour. You got to look at all of them because something is gonna come up for you. And then I use the Elliott waves too theory. So with Elliott waves, it's easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, and you can see them from previous data, so you can know which wave you're about to hit. Um, so sometimes when I see that we're on the second wave, third waves normally is up to the like crazy major move up. But again, none of that is 100%. So things could happen. So what I do is I see the full potential in a company like Ater, like even tlry. I mean, the company reported $53 million profit. What else do people want from a company? It made so many partnerships with so many different companies, including Whole Foods yesterday, and or the day for yesterday, and guess what? The company still goes down. Like, makes no sense, but it's only because it's heavily shorted. If that company takes off, it's not gonna take off. If tlry takes off, it's not gonna take off to $15 or $12 or $10. And this is my personal opinion, guys. So again, not financial advice, but tlry, when it breaks out, it's breaking out to 3 digits and above. That's my personal opinion. I know you're gonna be like, wow, this guy is just throwing numbers out now, whatever. But when in January, sorry, in June's run up, um, was it no January in 2021 when it ran up? January or March 2021? I can't. I forget because so many different plays. But in one of those run ups, basically, it ran up. tlry itself ran up to above $67, and like I said, it that's still so low for it because it's again when you look at all the dynamics, biggest marijuana manufacturer, or not manufacturer, but producer in the world, biggest conglomerate in that industry, absorbed a lot of different companies. Faria working with Hixo. I don't know. Most likely they're gonna also swallow them in. You got Whole Foods on their side, which we know who owns Whole Foods. Um, I mean, come on, guys. Amazon is like, so and that's without legalization. Like, imagine when it gets legalized, what would happen to that company? So I see huge potential in that company. That's why I made huge position in it. And along the way, since I know the value of the company, I play the options correct on it. Which, like I told you guys yesterday, I cashed out on those options that I took last week, and it did well. Unfortunately, it could have done so much better because I expected way more than that 8-9% move before it dumped down. But I had to let go of those options because I already knew that they were going to do what they were going to do. Does that mean it's over? No squeeze for it? Of course not. It didn't even begin. There was no squeeze yet. Same thing with Ater. That's why I took Ater's position after that run up. It cooled down, and then first it gave me that confirmation, the initial confirmation. Okay, there more than 30%, 2 different sessions. Well, it didn't do that. It just went up 60% on one session, 54% to 60% on one session. That's a monster move up. Somebody's covering, somebody's doing something. So I got my confirmation. I know the company's good. What the CEO is doing, he's already for many months tried to scream out, talking about the shorts, victimizing companies and preying on companies like his, with fake info and everything, and illegal naked shorting and all that. So he's hired, according to him, he's hired private investigators to get after this manner or whatever, because apparently he doesn't trust the SEC as well. So so it's there, and Ater will take its own thing. I mean, again, I took my position in it, so we'll see how it goes with that. And it's a little bit of a longer term of options. I didn't do stocks and Ater, so again, not financial advice, guys, and I'm not telling anyone what to do and what not to do. So Redwan, in a nutshell, I don't overlook those kind of things to make my position, because it could come out wrong, and then you're like, well, where did I go wrong? And then it can just become a big cluster F, and all that stuff. So instead, I look, see the pattern, see everything. When I showed you guys the AMC trend, you've seen, it's not hard to see a bull flag On the whole year chart. We've been on a downtrend on a complete bull flag, and that's the biggest bullish thing you ever want to see. Rather than that, as well, is I'm looking at the points and the technical analysis points where our support and resistance. I look at those, and when I saw the resistance that we have, okay, I could see it was the 33, $34 level, but that's the big resistance. The support we have is at 20. They broke it down. They've been trying to get us into that for the whole week. Finally, they were able to do so. But our major support is to do not fall within that trend line, is not to fall under the 1863. We fall underneath that, according to me. Again, that's just my humble opinion. That's when we will go right back into confirming the downtrend movement that could continue to wave into well into the summer. Now, with these market conditions and everything, I don't see it happen. I mean, you see what they're doing just so that they can get us down a dollar or 50 cents or whatever. Um, it's impossible, and it's getting tighter and tighter. I mean, this setup is looking scarier and scarier for them, not for us. I'm getting even more and more bullish, and the things that I see them go through in the pre-market, I'm not even looking at the aftermarket because most of the times I'm with you guys here, or I'm doing some praying or some chores around the house and stuff like that. Fasting and all that stuff. So I don't look at the after hours, especially for this month. But the pre-market, I'm up and I see it, and I see what they're going through. Trust me, guys. The pressure, there's more pressure on them than what you might think that it's on us. And I'm not gonna follow it up with "trust me, bro." Breeze. Um, so as far as it going more down, um, it's let's just put it that way. 1863, in my opinion, is what they want to bring us under. It will be lovely for them if they can try to bring us down to the 15, so that they can even get more and more contracts, of course, out of the money. Not that there is many out there in the money. We were already kind of beaten down. But for tomorrow, I will look at the options chain later on tonight. I will make after this live. I will make a video talking about the where what our fight will be for tomorrow, where we need to be, where we don't need to fall under, and everything. But right now, we are again. I called this the slingshot. Like I call it a slingshot effect, because normally we would have at around the like anywhere between the 22 and the $26 range. We were primed for a bounce back up, a healthy bounce back up, because we already a week ago we already broke that. We broke completely out of that downtrend, and it was to the up move, and it was a huge candle. I mean, I will reiterate this. That candle we had a week ago, when we got stopped at the 33 and 89 level, was a much bigger and healthier candle than the candle that we had initially in June of 2021. So, my humble opinion, I personally think that that candle was supposed to take us to more than the all-time high that we had. Now, that doesn't mean it's done, right? Because I will show you guys here something. I'm gonna inverse the camera, okay? So guys, don't you know go crazy and like, AB, where did you go? So I'm gonna show you just this year, okay? This is the year chart. That right there, my friends, is a bullish pennant, which basically gives you an inclination that hey, there's an uptrend and the price is going to go to the upside. And guess what? It did. How long did it take? Look how big this pennant is. It took over from beginning to end. It took almost like 2 to 3 months. So you see, so sometimes technical analysis on just a daily base or very small, time frame. It can't be 100%. And at this time, I don't want to take any chances except the way that I see the trend and what makes me very, very, very comfortable. So look at this. You see this initial candle right here in June of 2021. We will even. This is what initiated the uptrend away from the like to take us above what we were used to, because we were bouncing. Look how big this candle is. It was like a almost a $10 candle by itself right here. This is obviously like that's what the squeeze when the squeeze happened. That was just one time. It was almost like 30 $40 all happened very quick in very quick short period. But this is the candle I'm talking about. This is what led us to get to this. Now if you move down here back to our time, see this candle is literally the same, but I personally, that actually is just a little bit stronger and bigger than the one that we had in that June, which, if not the same size, is a little bit bigger. This down right here, you see that? This is the time frame that we're in. This is where we ended. Now look back. I'm looking at patterns here. Forget all the EMAs and all that stuff. You see how we had a little red after this? Now, of course, it didn't drop like this. This is why I think this next run up is going to be way more violent than June's. That's why. Because this was bringing it down, trying to, and then we had a violent one right after. May 27th, 28th. Eventually, the run started happening the week after, which was supposed to be this week for us. Now, we're not tripping because instead it's coming down. And if we don't, like I said, break under this, where is it? 18, where I had it. This candle right there. So between these two candles, 1869, 1863, if we don't break under this to continue the downtrend movement, we're good for, and it's not going to be something like this. I personally think it's going to be like this. Just like a very, very solid move to the upside. Okay, now I'm back. So you guys like viewing me more than the chart, I see. A lot of people left right after I switched it to the chart. So, Breeze, hopefully that answers that question. I just wanted to give you both sides, If they bring us under that, then I see us going down further for longer. One thing I will always say, since I'm not a financial advisor, but one thing I will always say, unless you had some sort of insider trading information or the options chain was extremely, extremely very visible, similar to like this morning. Again, you guys can go on the community tab and see what I was writing at 5 a.m. I wanted to timestamp it on purpose. And I literally was saying that, the setup was trying to bring us down underneath the $17 range to the $17 range. And, they were trying to, at the end of the day, we were like, the lowest was what, 1842, something like that. But they couldn't. And then we rebounded right back up to the 19. And that was good. Tomorrow, I will see, like I said, in the next video, it's going to be a short video, just telling you what ater has to fight, what bbig has to fight, what AMC has to fight, what GME has to fight tomorrow, what our battle is for the end of the day on a few stocks, including tlry as well. So the setup was weird because the options chain was extremely visible. Like, it was easy to see that if I like to do puts, and I don't, like I told you in the beginning of this live, I don't do puts on GME or AMC. It's just besides, I don't care whether it makes money or not. It's just besides the point, like the principle here. You could go ahead and do it on so many other stocks. So yeah, it was so easy to see that their intention was to bring it down, but the books made it really awkward, made it really different because the spread was weird. If you were in the pre-market in the morning, you saw, and then you saw how many shares they had, and out of nowhere at the last second they will borrow a little bit more, and it was just such a tiny amount. Liquidity is dying. It was like, hey, this could really happen, and they were able to bring the price down, of course, instead of bringing it right back up. Let's see. Thanks, Kenny. AB YouTube's ads are getting out of control. Had to watch 4 ads, and then once you came on, the video started from the beginning. Something buggy going on. What? They're making that much money off of me? Hold on. I don't. Hold on. Let me see. You wouldn't have that problem, Assiduous. Don't worry. On the next live, brother. I'll check the settings with that and make sure that there's no monetization and all that stuff going on with the lives. Okay. Um, Mr. L, the wolf. AB, question for you. You watching the petition Dave Lar has going on? It got 30K signatures stating payment for order flow needs to go. No, SCGs, I'm not. Power to Dave Lar, but I think he's trying to solve an issue for future reference, and I don't think he will succeed with it simply because, um, you know, the only way to win that battle doesn't matter like if the Congress has to vote on it or it has to pass the House and they have to act on it and all that stuff. You see how much money that is tied down to. You see the Weebles, the Robin Hoods, the Moo. These guys make their money that way. You take the payment for order flow, these apps will not coexist now. You and me, you're like, okay, yeah, that's good. We would love that. Why not? Let them go. But there is many large institutions that are invested heavy in these apps, in these companies. It's their best interest to get that, and those people are very powerful, and they are the same people that take care of these campaigns of these congressional people. Now, anyways, not saying that you should not even do it. Go for it. Why not? I don't think it's a problem because the main thing like that I broke down, our main issue is through these dark pools. Because what is payment for order flow if there's no place that you could take it to? Kenny, again, let's take it back to 2021. Kenny himself, there was like in March of 2021, said, I don't care. You guys want to stop payment for order flow? We'll stop it right now. He don't care about that. Reason why is because the crime is literally done in those ATSs, aka dark pools. The only reason why payment for order flow hurts us is because he can pay them to get the orders, so he can funnel them and hide them through the dark pools via dark pools to get loans and to get money from financial institutions and the feds on that. Now, once that dark pool is broken, it's kind of like a bridge, as I called it. Once that is broken, do you think anybody's going to reach out to these apps to give them money or pay them for these orders? For what? I don't need these orders anymore. I'm not going to get no money on top of that order. Now, for future reference, in the long run, it will make a much better market. But the market being on blockchain, which is by 2023, 2024, most likely, then also that gets dealt with. So I feel like it's kind of like I don't know. I don't see, again, I don't see the point of me, because we just think alike, me and him, I guess. I don't see the reason of why I have to go somewhere and then come back and then have to go back to that place more than once and then go back. It's just pointless. I like to defeat the issue or fix the issue from the get-go so that I don't have to do that more than once. Just one time, done deal, that's it. And all that can be solved with regulating these dark pools. And the dark pools, we have a big regulation coming in, most important regulation, in my opinion, on the 18th of this April. If you didn't comment, you should go comment on that. Everyone, maybe you guys should bring it up to Dave Lar to take this 30,000 to go comment on that, because if that gets solved, trust me, the payment for order flow by itself will stop to coexist, because no one is going to pay for something that's not going to help them anymore. The only reason why they're paying, why the citadels and the market makers and they're paying these apps money to get access to these orders is because they can benefit from it right now. They need to get these orders because they can benefit from it right now. They know where you're going, they know your position. But if they can't use that, all those orders that are coming in and they can't be rerouted through dark pools, then why would they reach out to Robinhood anymore? Why would they reach out to Webull anymore? Why would they reach out to Moomoo and whatever other payment for order flow apps are there? So all the power to Dave. If they need my vote, they can have it. You feel free to put the link in the chat. I'll put it. But I just had to add my 2 cents on top of why I think that we're kind of like, I don't know, like we're just signing something that eventually they just, when it gets to them after 2 years, when something else is dealt with, the real issue is dealt with, it automatically fixes that small, tiny issue. When you do your one-off video, try keeping them under 5 minutes. The average attention span is under 8 seconds. LOL. You got it, Assiduous. The thing is, if I will work on, I will make that happen. I just want to warn people with things like, hey, what to watch out for, what they're gonna try to do. Um, so I'll do my best, Assiduous. I promise I'll do my best on it. Look, Sidious gives you everything, and then at the end he tells you, remember to like the video, you know. Hanzo, glad to see you too. All YouTube, that so many YouTuber or YouTube people are all over the place with AMC. So before I continue reading some more down, and guys, I'm sorry, like I know you want me to read your comment, I will, and I'm gonna get to it very fast. But let me just say the true, like what happened today. I know most of you want to know that, right? Like what was happening. What happened today is exactly what I told you yesterday. That inverse on those bond yields, boom, that is making it less profitable and not profitable soon enough to re-lend money out there, which means no one is going to be lending money out there, which is why you saw, and then I did say that the feds were also talking about, dropping their, on a monthly base, dropping their, their list, like their assets by 95 billion a month, or up to basically 1.1 trillion a year. And on top of that, they want to 50 points up the hikes, like hike the rates up 50 points, which obviously you saw what 25 points did. Not much, but it had a little bit of a, like, for the rest of the market, it was bringing it down on fears. But ultimately, after they made that decision, remember on that same week, we had that little, run to the 34s, right? Because somebody's hurt and somebody got hurt, and somebody is most likely soon going to tap out. They make more, they hike rates more. Somebody's going to tap out. I'm just looking for them to start unloading their assets, because their sheets, it doesn't make sense to hike the rates and yet still give out money. It makes, like I said before, it's like somebody who has their both of their feet, one on the brake and one on the gas, and it's like, your engine is going to blow up eventually. And now they're talking like that. Now, here's the thing, the pattern that I wanted to talk to you guys about in the beginning of the live. How many times have you seen the feds do something like this? You've seen the whole market, like as you've been seeing it this whole week, go red, 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 red. And then eventually they will come the week after or the next meeting when they pop up. And guess what happens? They say, it looks like it's transitory, and you know what, we're going to keep a close attention on this. We're going to stay with our 25 points that we hiked in March, and we won't be afraid to be more hawkish in the future. We will tackle this. We will jump on this. This is Jerome Powell impersonation. I know I'm doing a terrible job, but this is what they do. And then on that news, you will see the whole markets rebound, and then the media all over, Google, Yahoo Finance, will be like, markets are relieved, they're not scared anymore, now things are moving. And here's the problem, here's what I see, the way I see it. This is a huge insider trading and conflict of interest, a big problem for me, because the markets are clearly, like, there's no, like, everybody is not just sitting there looking like how we've seen in movies. up on the screen and seeing, oh, it's moving, let me act on this, and like, and instantly, or as Jerome Powell really is acting and all that stuff. All this stuff is algorithmic. It's different than the early 1990s or the late 1990s. This is different times, different. The way that everything works is completely different now. So clearly, a lot of people have a lot of financial institutions have a lot of insider knowledge on what's going to happen. So what they do is they prop up the whole market and they short the whole market at their pleasure, basically, and they make so much money every time they do that. It's a change of trend. That's what they. That's what I would like to call it. You've seen it when the Evergrande thing came out. They came out with the media. The whole market was going down. It wasn't just AMC or GME. The whole market was going down. And by the way, I would like to give you guys something before I continue with this trend. Don't ever mistake that AMC and GME are in the same boat of all the other stock markets. They want to make it look like that, but we are not in the same boat. Market dumps, and this is again my AB's analysis on this. Could be wrong, I could be right, but market dumps, AMC GME flies. We're not in the same boat. We're not going to dump with them. Because it makes no sense for completely over leveraged and shorted positions to go up along with the other stocks, normal stocks that are not shorted nearly, not even 1% of what these two stocks are shorted. And when they move up, we move along with them. We're not the same. They want to make it look like that, but we're not the same. Again, AB's intake on that. But continuing with the pattern. Then the fears of Evergrande, we're all screwed, everything. And guess what? Not even 2, 3, 4 weeks later, everything goes back up. Amazon flies back up. You remember 3 weeks ago, Amazon was almost about to hit its all-time low. Shopify made a new all-time low. All these blue chip stocks that we could think of, even Tesla was in the upper 700s just 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. Guess what? They came back, and based on the good news and everything, we had. Sorry, I'm again hearing my mom asking. She's making really, really great food for us to break our fast with today. So sorry, I'm changing so many tempos with you guys, but I'm just reacting to everything. So yeah, you would see how everything will prop back up, and then suddenly, now Tesla is at it reached almost 1,200 a share the day before yesterday. And then when the Feds came out yesterday talking about, just talking about we're gonna do this, but they didn't say this is what's gonna happen. So keep your eye on that. And guess what? Now we're seeing all the market dumping and dumping. I wouldn't be surprised that the whole market will prop up again really, 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 really soon. That's why anything you look at right now, odds are, this is how I'm projecting the next trend. You're going to see a nice run up in all the stocks unless everything falls, and they really do. In the May meeting that's coming up for them, I think it's May 6th. I don't know if anybody knows exactly the Fed's next meeting. You could probably chime in and write it in the comment section. On May 6th or in May, I just know it's in May. If they don't follow on all these things, I've never understood why they come out ahead of time of the meeting and say these things to the media. So apparently companies have to have a quiet period. When you're investors, when you're about to have an IPO, when you're about to release earnings, you have a quiet period. None of your officials in the management or the marketing team in the company can talk. They can't answer any questions because it could be considered as conflict of interest and insider trading. But why the hell does the Fed get all the right to come a month in advance or 2 weeks in advance or 3 days in advance to start all their federal the federal commissioner of Philadelphia or whatever will chime in and say, you know what, we're going to raise this, and we need to raise this 50 points, and 95 billion needs to come out of the asset sheet of the Feds every month, and everything. And then when Jerome Powell comes on stage on the day of, everything is different. I think it's transitory. This is what we say. I think inflation or all this problem is transitory. We're going to continue to monitor this very close. And you see the same similar strategy being done by the SEC. Same thing, like, Gary Gensler, we're going to pass this and we're going to do this and we're fighting for investor protection and everything. And in the same time, you see the opposite happening, completely the opposite. And then he'll come out talking about global warming and whatever. And it's like, come on, man, like this has nothing to do with it. So yeah, it makes no sense when these Fed officials can come out and speak ahead of that meeting and basically put the markets in like this, because clearly other people that are connected to these Fed officials, financial institutions or hedge funds, somehow they get the loop and they get the scoop. And instead, that's the word I wanted to say. They get the scoop ahead of time, so they know that, hey, this is just fears. We're just dumping fears. So you can feel free to basically start dumping your positions on all the market, sell off, then you can buy back at a low price, because this is just transitory. Because when the next meeting comes, or when we really air that out, we're gonna just basically say that no, we're not gonna do any of this hawkish things that we were been saying that we're gonna do. I mean, how long did it take them until they finally implemented that 25-point rate hike? It took them from the beginning of 20, like what? It's they were supposed to. They were talking about it since August or September of 2021. Look how long it took. Over half a year. And we were getting worse and worse in the inflation. Inflation was getting worse and worse. Everybody in the country knew inflation was red hot, except the Feds, who are supposed to watch the who are supposed to know, and they get paid to know what the inflation is all about. So my point to you guys is not to get scared or to scare you or anything. I'm trying to explain to you overall how they swing the market left and right as they see. It's not the retail investor that moves stocks or moves trends or switches trends for now. And this is why we haven't squozen yet, because when we get that power of that money and everything, and we still have the mindset of buy and hold, again, this is why they want to switch everybody to go to options, because that way you're playing on your own. Unless we do another GME, before Wall Street bets got infiltrated and Reddit, then, they're going to try to break that movement down. Overall, all these gimmicks is about one thing. The squeeze is imminent. They know that it's going to come, but they just can't allow further damage after, because the squeeze, when everybody, you're talking about millions of people making so much money out of this, it becomes a bigger problem because that will register in their brain that, oh yeah, I figured it out. All I gotta do from now on is see where everybody else, all my other apes, are jumping into. We will form, like I said yesterday, the hedge fund will be called Ape LLC, or Ape Hedge Fund, where we all, like all the apes basically, and it will defeat all the big hedge funds out there. Who knows? We might even become a market maker. And that's one thing they're afraid of, because when we all have money and we go in at the same time on different stocks, we at that point we will have more power to cause more havoc than AMC and GME is gonna do right now. Like that, they know they're screwed on that. It's done deal. Even the other meme stocks, tlry's, aters, progs, spce, bbby, all those, they know they're gonna deal with this. But if they let us have it the way that we want it, which is with the mindset or the inclination that is buy and hold gets the job done, then that will register in our brain, and that's it. Every person will stop looking at TA. Every person will stop doing his own thing. Everybody will just be like, okay, it's easy. We'll just wait to see where everybody's moving next. And this time, we're coming with a bunch more money. We're not just buying 400 shares or 500 shares. You're talking about the smallest position for someone with so much money, because everybody's going to be rich, basically, in a way. Then there's no way they'll be able to short nothing like that, or be on the other side against that, because you're talking about they're already having a terrible time with us with this kind of financials. Imagine when after the squeeze, what we'll do. There's no play that we will jump into that will not be squozing on that same day and as long as we want. So we could easily, after the squeeze of AMC and GME, it could be as easy as saying like, hey guys, let's say we form some sort of group or another Reddit that does not get infiltrated, hypothetically speaking, but everybody has hundreds of thousands or millions, and we say, okay, tomorrow, guys, this is the play we're going after. Do you know how scary that is for them? And we're only in it for one day. We can literally squeeze a stock 4, 5, 6, 7, 800% in one session, minus the halts and suspensions, and then dump it back down later, and then we could literally short it to zero. I mean, we could literally become that monster, and that's what they're afraid of. They don't want you to have your money the way we're playing it right now, because they want to break the idea. All this struggle is about breaking the idea of buy and hold, because they want to prevent future catastrophes that they know will happen if this squeeze goes down the way it does. And eventually, I personally think it's still going to happen regardless. And that's why they're happy with prolonging it more, because they're okay with the idea that you make your money and you get out of the stock market, because they know that it's either Armageddon after, because Judgment Day is the squeeze, but the afterlife is what they're afraid of, and they would rather you not be in the market than be in it and continue squeezing them left and right on a daily basis on different plays. Again, I have a huge imagination, guys, so I could be completely crazy, sometimes. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Hopefully it made sense. Just like BlackBerry, Mr. L. What did I say that is like? Oh, like you were talking about, like what happened with tlry, because BlackBerry, like, it has, like, as a company, I can tell you this right now, this zone that it's in, it's, for me, not financial advice, it's a crazy buy zone, but to accumulate, because it's in the same thing, it's going through the same thing. But when BlackBerry squeezes, you don't be surprised when you see 50s and 60s and 70s and numbers like that. It's heavily shorted as well, but technically and fundamentally, the company, its whole value is in all the patents that it has. It has millions of patents, and some of them, I mean, many of them are not worth jack shit, but some of them are worth billions of dollars. That's, let alone their joint venture with IBM, and how they got so many contracts to work on that self-driving vehicle, which is what we're going to start seeing in 2023, 2024. They got a lot of contracts on that and stuff like that, and just their security. You guys remember the BlackBerry days? I don't know if you're old enough. You know, I know some of you are like me out here. I know some of you probably older than me in here. BlackBerry is just completely known for their securities patents. So that's what's up with BlackBerry. It's a very, 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 very promising stock. Yeah, see, Kim, I remember tlry 60 last summer. Absolutely. And that was like without, believe it or not, that's why I say tlry is very, very close to AMC as far as like what happened to it. I'm not saying it's more shorted. Of course, it's not more shorted than AMC. But as far as a fundamental value for the future, they made some really huge strides and great acquisitions and partnerships to make sure that, okay, for the meantime, it might not help them much, because the only thing that's against them is that legalization in the US, because it's the biggest market in the world. You can be as successful as you want throughout the rest of the planet. You can go and spread out to Mars if you want, and Venus, but if you don't have access to the US market and penetrate it as well, you can't. Like, it's not gonna look that great. I mean, again, that company, as great as it is, yes, it did make a profit. It was 53.5 million, almost $54 million, but that's not nearly enough for someone of that stature. Like, I want to hear bigger numbers. I want, like, what will blow my mind for the biggest conglomerate of marijuana on the planet. what will blow me away is hearing it made 500 million, 600 million in a quarter. I wouldn't be surprised, even a billion. But what's stopping that is basically the biggest consumer market and the biggest market in the world and economy, which is the US market. Everybody wants, I don't care who you are. When I got into that gig of import and export once upon my life back in the days, and that is a story as well for itself. Oh, I have so many stories for you guys, so crazy stories. Um, but when I got into that gig, there's like a convention that happens in Chicago, here in Chicago, in the state of Illinois, every March. And it's normally in the McCormick, it's called the McCormick Center, McCormick Building. And it's an exhibit where all like companies, manufacturers, anybody that makes anything, doesn't matter from a wallet to a paper glass, like a paper cup, like literally every manufacturer or company will be in that exhibition, and it's like 5 6 days long. And on the same time, every major or company, importer or exporter will also be there. It's a huge exhibition, right? And I will not dive into the story, but I will just tell you guys like that, just that part. I can maybe tell you guys the story some other time because it's crazy. It's crazy. It's super crazy. Um, but yeah, so like I attended this thing, and in there, these people were like, when I was seeing them, I've seen a whole section that was another building. Like, and when I talk about another building inside, it's so huge to walk in. Your feet will hurt before you stop, just to walk before you walk back in. You'll get lost in. So many people. So many. There was a huge just section only for the Chinese manufacturing market. And I walked in, guys, I've seen things that we don't see on the streets. But in order for those things to get to the streets, every buyer, like I even mediated a deal with the Twin Bros, and I think it was from the Dollar General. It was one of those. It's either Dollar General or the 99-cent store. That franchise with all that chain, and I was sitting on the table when the deal was happening. There was two Twin Bros that basically operate that company or that chain, and they were trying to add this from an Indian manufacturer, and this is who I was with there. But again, I'm not going to dive into the story. I'm just going to tell you like why is it so important? Why is the U.S. market the most important? These guys come with all whatever they make their product from whatever factory, whatever manufacturing city or country in the world, just to attend these exhibits. There's one in Frankfurt, but I know that every year it's in March in Chicago, and it was an experience and a story that I would never ever forget. That I walked in and walked out of. I even learned a lesson in there too. Somebody taught me a lesson in there, so I'll tell you guys the story one day. Um, but that's why it's so important. This market is so important, the American market, and by them not having access to it, it's a matter of time. So what did tlry? What's the second best thing that they do? I know you guys are probably like, hey, I'm here for AMC and GME, but guys, you've known, if you've been in this channel, if you subscribed to this channel, you've known AB is not just centered. You know his two favorites are AMC and GME. You know he has big positions in AMC and GME, but he's not a two stock person. That's the way I keep adding to my positions, by playing other stocks. So I'm talking about the whole stock market. We're traders. We're not uh, you know wish makers, or we're trying to make a wish foundation on two stocks. So we know that's our dream right here, those two stocks, but the rest I utilize them. I see potential and I take it. When I see potential, I take advantage of it. um, so yeah, so seeing Tilray, what they did in the present time might have not been too huge, but it speaks so loud and huge volumes for the future to come. That's what I want you to pay attention to. So by them acquiring Afaria, they paid what was like $4 billion, or it was in the billions. By acquiring them, one will come to terms as in like, why would you do that? And there's still like, why didn't you just do that after legalization? Well, here's the thing: after legalization, the value of Afaria will be so much greater. And if you want to corner the market, and be the number one in that market, you need to do it now in the tracks of the footsteps before it grows, before that seed that is planted or you're planting becomes an actual fully grown tree. It's harder to take out of the way then, you know? So you don't want any competition. You don't want to get like anyone to get in your way. In fact, you want everybody to bend the knee. Once you walk or when you get involved with something, then you got to do it early in the early stages. So that's what I believe is tlry doing, acquiring a faria. I don't know if eventually they will acquire Hixo, but I know that they're doing a joint venture together. I don't know if they're officially, and I personally think that they're eventually going to end up swallowing them because Hixo is just not as big as tlry is, and they'll see a lot of benefits and them being acquired, and the owners or the investors of that company will see more benefits because they can't see when this thing will be legalized. They see more benefits probably of cashing in right now, make some money, live good life, and it's two parties will be happy. tlry will be happy. It gets even bigger and bigger. Now there's no one can mess with it. And that part, Hixo's part, will be, hey, we got the money we want. We don't have to worry about the headache that comes with this, and we don't have to go against these big conglomerates in the future. And now their partnership with Whole Foods. Do you think we know who owns Whole Foods as well, guys, right? Do you think Bezos will be in some way connected or related to something that's going to tank and lose him money? Even if that's the case, he will not let that happen. He will interfere. He will go and bribe somebody, or he probably has something on someone. That's why he got that huge apartment in DC that's close to the White House. Very, very expensive. What do you think for? So he can have access straight to the Oval Office. Like, hey, he's one of those individuals that probably can pick up the phone and talk to the president, like straight up. And I won't be surprised. I literally would not be surprised. Him or the Musks or whoever. So it's the potential there is big. So I'm approving. This is the AB approval thumbprint on what tlry is doing. They're cornering their market at an early stage. It's only a matter of time before that gets legalized. We all know that that's going to get legalized completely, even if it's not this year, it's the year after, the year after. But they're making strides. They just showed in their earnings that they made this much. As long as they're profitable and they're not hurting, they can take this as long as it takes. But when it gets approved, you can't put a price on that thing. This thing is easily over 3 digits, easily. Not even talking about the shorts that's on it. Okay, not hating on the AMC crowd, but if GME, here goes Assidious and his butts, you gotta watch out. If GME stock split dividends goes through and sets off MOAS, will the AMC crowd be pissed? The GME crowd sets it off, and yes, if one runs, they both run. Of course. Okay. For me, since I'm an investor in both, I don't care. Shit, I don't even care if Sundial runs and the rest runs after, because I think that everyone would run right after. Like if one runs, everything runs. That's why you see when ater squoze didn't squeeze out of control, like there was containment. tlry, same thing, 10% stay down. bbby, okay, 20-30% come back down. Like nothing is gonna run haywire. They're not gonna let anything run haywire unless they had absolutely no choice and they got completely overrun, and which is on the road that we're approaching. I mean, by the way, guys, this is what the market has been doing as a pattern as far as with the feds coming out, scaring people ahead of the meeting, and then the market completely starts dumping based on that news, and who's making so much money by that happening. And then the news comes out on the day of the meeting, big pump. Oh, the Fed didn't really crash the market, so therefore everything goes back up. Guess who makes money again? Them, swing in the market. But this one could be the one. That's the risk with all that you take every time, is that this could be the one. Because how many times can they continue to do this? Well, once lending becomes unprofitable, then there's no need to continue to do this anymore. It's just simple as that, because no one, like the source is not making money no more because that person that's coming to him is no longer coming because he can't borrow from him, pay him interest, and go out there and relend it and make money on that. So that this model is going to be broken. Honestly, my thing is, I just hope that we can this time after this crash and this recession, upcoming recession. It pains me to say that we're going to have it 100%, but this is my opinion. We're going to have it 100%. We're going to have it 100%, whether it's in the next 6 months, as I predict, or the year, the end of the upcoming year, as what analysts say, or Deutsche Bank or J.P. Morgan, you know, predict. Normally, they never want to give you the whole scoop. If they tell you that, just know that it's going to be a lot sooner. Similar to the Feds, they tell you, oh, inflation is transitory. But we all knew that the inflation was red hot, 8%, over than the number, or I guess tying the number. I think it's over the number than the highest inflation we had in the last 40 years, plus years. Not surprising there. And I think inflation is actually even higher than what is being reported. Um, it just makes sense because look, you go outside and you'll know, and or go to Kroger's or go to buy groceries for the house and you'll know, gas and you'll know, everything is going up, and we know that that's what the case is. So when they're so late behind, when they give you a narrative saying it's going to be in 2023 or the next 2 years in 2024, I just know that it's going to be a whole lot sooner than that. But when they start giving you that implication that there is a recession, because all along they've been saying no, 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 they're going to tackle the market. They're going to corner it, and we're going to prop it up, and it's going to be good. Uh, it makes no sense. We we just coming out of a pandemic. Economy was shitted on. We never had a break, basically. Coming out of a pandemic and all the stocks moved to all-time highs. How does that make any sense? Everything is propped up and played with and manipulated with. That's why when the correction happens, no one is going to come back to ask questions. How was Amazon or Tesla at 3,000 or 1,200 for Tesla? And when there's like at this point, just last quarter, and then now this quarter, it's at $200 or $800 or $600. Well, that's what they call the Great Reset, and then just everything gets swept under the carpet. Whoever made money made money. Whoever didn't make money, now you remember it as history. History remember it as the Great Reset again, once again, and they will redo it again in the next 10 years, 12 years. We'll revisit this same position once again, because that's how it's been. That's how it works. Because of that model of lending and then relending and then relending, and that's how they make their money. I just hope that this upcoming recession and crash can change that model. Something that we, the people, can come in and do or press on, and riot on, and talk about, like, no, I'm not talking about rioting. Sorry, I don't want anybody to come at me now and be like, okay, this guy is uh, is intoxicating the public interest and public peace. So no, but I'm just giving it as it is, guys, from here and from here straight out. No pre-rehearsals or nothing. You know how AB does it. So this is my part where I say I hope we can break that chain. If not, then guess what, guys? When we walk out with our attendees and our money and we're filthy rich, with from the squeeze, and the crash happens after, we're gonna weather that storm. Unfortunately, the people outside, the people who are not investors, the other taxpayers, our other brothers and sisters out there, those are the people that are gonna get affected, similar to what happened in 2008. Um, if we don't change this model somehow or affect something to go in effect to change it, um, then we'll just be ready with our attendees. I'll put a lot on the side to prepare for the next 12 years, because I know that we're going to revisit this again. By then, you'll see a lot of like white gray hair here and here, and who knows what kind of style at that point I'll be. But we'll revisit this again, and we'll be like, hey, who knows what it'll be then, if it's going to be stocks or what the case will be. Um, Let me read some of these. But yeah, I won't be mad, Assiduous. I don't care who goes through first. Whoever goes in, I know everybody else is coming in. Zycom, how are you? Zycom, I don't know. Again, this is a little personal. I don't know why. Um, I feel like your username, I know it. I don't know. Put it in the comment section if you know me like on a personal level besides here. Please let me know. Okay, gotta roll, Mr. L. Stay safe, brother. You're always welcome with the wolf pack. Hit up Cam so we can get you live with early birds. Mr. L, I know you're probably gone by now, but yeah, he reached out to me. He actually told me and said, invited me over to come. So I guess he will reach out to me. I'll coordinate with him to tell him like what's the best time, honestly, especially during this month. And I'm excited. I'm honored, and I told him as always, like it's a pleasure to come. And guess what? That wolf pack is something that that gives you that feeling that hey, yeah, I'm a wolf with these wolves. So it's something very 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 strong about that feeling. I think that we are at the last turn right before it went to all-time high. You're correct, Peter, and I showed you guys in that diagram how after that first candle we took a little breather and then we ripped up, which is what ater is doing right now. So keep an eye on that. I'm glad I made my position in there. So just as predicted, the very next day after that 50%, 54% run up, I said that tomorrow everybody's going to FOMO in thinking that it's it, but I'm going to wait for it to cool down. It cooled down for a day or even a day and a half. I saw that little dip. It's just a cool off the RSI. And guess what? That run to the upside caused most likely people to start covering, and that's why you've seen today like that little out of nowhere toward after 2 o'clock. There's that 10% up movement, and now in the after hours it's very volatile. I can't see what it's doing right now, but I know that it was doing it. Um, so let's see. I made options though. I didn't do stocks on it. I did tell you guys that it was gonna happen, and I was gonna wait until the next day to jump in. But at first, I needed it to give me that confirmation to the upside move, and it did that. When it did that, I said, okay, I'm gonna wait for the RSI to cool off a little bit, next day or two, and then make my position. You guys can go back to the video and fact check me on my own statements, um, and then hopefully it will write it up, and wrote some options. So we'll see where it goes. I will most likely, depending on how tomorrow goes. Um, Again, since I'm not like AMC and GME to me all day, every day. So my point of doing that was just to get extra cash to put into my positions in AMC and GME. So I'm not gonna no diamond handed. I know it has a big potential, and it pains me if somebody's a big ater, uh, you know, lover, and it's like that's my stock. Like how crazy I am about AMC and GME, or you guys are as well. I apologize, but again, this is a security, so all I'm doing is just trading it. It's not that much of an importance to me besides AMC and Jimmy. That's just my mission. Everybody has a different mission in life. That is my mission. So tomorrow, if I see a good continuation, but it's not as violent rip, then I will be, closing out my positions, take my profits completely, and it can do what it wants after because I'll be happy with the time is perfect for me. AMC and Genie are getting battered right now. So as I always said, I always buy when we're going down, not to look for dips, no, but I always buy when it's on the way down. Now, when it's moving up, like when it's squeezing, I'll buy all over. I don't care what the average price is. 40, 50, 60, 70, I don't care because when it squeezes, 40 and 50 or 20 is not going to be a difference. Once you're selling it for four digits, $20, $30 difference per stock, I don't care. My mission is to accumulate as much as possible. Well, because and also my best interest is for this thing to squeeze. First of all, it's not going to just squeeze automatically on its own. We all came together to make this become a squeeze candidate, and now we're still not, you know, gonna we still haven't squozen, so the job is not done. Our work is not done here. It's not done until we squeeze the real squeeze, not no, you know, $20 or $10 or $30 or whatever. Again, AB is not advising anyone. This is just AB talking about his personal mission in this life or in this quest. Tiny's in the house. I don't know. You've probably been in the house for a while, Tiny. Sorry, I'm just getting to it now. BBIG cost to bar is 57.89%. Yep. Yep. You better believe it, because this week there is out of the world options on it. And by the way, Tiny and whoever is in BBIG, I'm looking to see what happens this week, so I would know what's gonna, and I will come out with a video to say what would happen next week, because I'm looking at something, and I will, like I said, I will confirm it, because it could be something or it could be nothing, but I'm looking at something, and if it comes to fruition tomorrow, when tomorrow ends, on both tlry and BBIG, then next week I feel like I would have a very, very, very solid idea, rather than just a bullish feeling or a bullish setup. I would have a little more, I feel like I would have a little more precise thing on it. So I will share that tomorrow. Assiduous, hey, you got a dip. If you're reading this, I did not hear you read my previous comments. Well, Assiduous, if you're hearing this, that means I got to it, but guess what? You have to rewatch the stream. Yeah, thank you, Tiny, for providing that percentage, 57.89%. Wow. Can you imagine, guys, if AMC cost to borrow was like that, or GME? We're at a mere what, like 1.2%, some stupid stuff, and GMEs are like 5.6 or 6.5, something like that. It's weird, but that's very bullish, guys. I would like to know who's the crazies, and there's a bunch of them out there apparently, that are shorting BBIG. Are you seeing the volume that we're having in BBIG? I mean, the first 2 hours of the pre-market, we had a volume of 400. I was looking at it this morning. I was like, what? Sagato, welcome to the chat, Sagato. I know almost all my peoples, and you're the newest now, officially, to my eyes. So welcome to the chat. Do you think Evergrande defaults and China potentially going into Taiwan will bring the MOAS? Sagato, I don't think, because if it was going to, look how long it's been since that came out, and none of that happened. Clearly, the market is being propped up, and according to my diagram, this is my theory, AB's theory, is that market has already been, since 2020, according to me, since 2020, has been dangling on a life support machine. Now, what is that life support machine connected to? The feds, according to me. Once the feds start unloading their assets, their asset sheets, and trimming them down, and the hike goes up just another 25 points. I mean, let alone if it goes another 50 points, that's with these 25 points already. That's when you're going to have your MOAS. That's according to AB. I'm not a financial advisor. That's according to AB. We've seen Evergrande happen and nothing happened. We've seen Elon Musk dump Tesla and that didn't do shit. We've seen Russia go into Ukraine and didn't do anything. It just, okay, yeah, but then the price factored that in, and we still propped up. It makes no sense that we are in these evaluations. How the market is still standing, it makes no sense. And the only thing that makes sense to me is the fact that the feds are propping up the market, and they're saying that, they're openly saying that, like, we're propping up the market to keep liquidity so the market doesn't crash. They even said that. So for the fact that a lot of YouTubers are out there that are not emphasizing more on this and not seeing this, that just signifies to me that majority of the YouTubers, and I said it more than once and I will say it again, are news reporters. They're not market analysts or understand or have any understanding in the market, or they're learning along the road with everyone else. They had no experience in the market, but they saw the need of coverage, which is good. You still need those news reporters, by the way, because it brings light to the issue, right? So they're still good about it. I'm not like throwing any shade on any of them. You could be whatever. You could be the doorman. You could be the news reporter. You could be the analyst. You could be the investment company itself. But what I'm saying is that each person is needed, and unfortunately, you have to give and you have to take. In this process, you need the news reporters so that they can put light to the issue. The problem is when the news reporters become or try to activate the cape or the guru button, that's when you start having a lot of problems, when a lot of people start getting confused. Like, what is this guy saying? Because they're spinning a narrative that they don't understand. And we've seen yesterday, we were talking on the live, we had my friend Pantheon on here, and that's the reason why Pantheon is not making videos anymore. I know all about it. There was an idea that I brought out. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And suddenly, some YouTuber took that idea and they take your work and then they go report on it. And since they have a little bigger channel and following, they get all the credit for that. They don't give you any credit for it. And now they're basking in your greatness. Now, here's the thing. Not calling myself, of course, great or anything. Neither do I care much about it, because at the end of the day, it's what you are with yourself. I don't need the world to make me feel good, or I don't need 5 billion or 5 million subscribers to make me feel great. I'm gonna feel great either way, with or without. My point is, my mission is to get these stocks to squeeze, and I'm not pumping out information to get people to jump in. No, or not advising anyone. I'm just breaking down the dynamics of what's happening and clarifying why such things make sense and some things do not make sense. And so, yes, in a nutshell, after that full explanation, don't think Evergrande or Taiwan or, the U.S. could invade whatever nation again, tomorrow. Russia can continue its occupation, and it could continue running into another country in Europe. And yeah, that's catastrophic for the world, but surprisingly, that will only affect the market periodically, and then somehow you'll price that in and it will prop up again. So ultimately, the feds and them giving out money and propping up via repo and reverse repo operations to the market, that becomes not profitable when you see these interest rates are no longer profitable, when long-term yields are much less than short-term yields. So people start putting money in the future, not in the short term, which sucks liquidity out of the market. It's kind of like a vacuum. And when they take that out, what are they going to do now? That's what they need. That's why the only thing is they continue living day by day. They're living day by day. I mean, when I was in college periodically, because again, that ties into the AB story, which we still have not done yet. I know, my bad, guys. In the future, we're going to talk about it, not in this video, don't worry. There was moments, and many of you probably knows these moments, where you struggled a lot and you had to adapt and you had to do whatever you had to do to survive. And there was those times where you lived day by day. Once you think, let me give you some nostalgic feelings, okay? And I know you don't want to think about them, but again, it happens. For me, I love thinking back about those hardships because they make me remember how grateful I am for what I do have now because of what I came from and how hard I had to work to get away from where I was at. So I love it. I love going back and thinking about it. It's a story of sacrifice. But each one of you have it. I know it. Nobody has their life where they're just born and it's like spoon-fed, at least as far as I know. So, yeah, that life was not the best. At that time, there was so much pressure. It was so overwhelming. I'm living day by day. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able, to make the rent come out tomorrow exactly. I don't know if they will tell me, okay, we'll give you an extension on your electric pay. It was like that. So it's that's what the market is. Do you see how? That's why I call it, we are on edge and we're just connected. We're a patient that is connected to a life support machine. And as soon as that tube is disconnected, it's hasta luego. That's just what I think honestly is going to happen, or what the case is. ET can come and colonize the whole Earth tomorrow, and the market will still somehow still trade. Ali Kermani, welcome to the chat as well. Now you are officially the newest member to my eyes and to this channel. Uh, Getting so frustrating to hold, bro. Hey, Ali, this is what they want, but guess what? Um, Once you get the money, just think of it like this. Once, and I'm not telling you to hold, I'm not telling you to sell, I'm not telling you to buy, whatever. But I'm speaking on personal experience from the past. Once they will make you feel like you screwed up everything in your life. You're the craziest and dumbest individual because the pressure from the people surrounding you that don't believe in the cause the way you do will also add more uh, gas to the fire within you. But guess what? Once that money comes in, doesn't matter how long it takes. Once that money comes in, all this will completely be forgotten about, like this, like in a snap of a finger. But what you can do right now, this is AB's mission. Now I'm gonna give you AB's mission. What I could do right now, when I first came on that question, when I was like, okay, because I was in AMC since September of 2020. So when I started thinking like that was like around March or April of 2021. And back then people were still getting their stimuluses and living life comfortably. There was no struggles in life and people were happy, but I had all my money and I had it in AMC. And at that time I was also piling up in GME. So what what the hell do you reach a point where am I really that idiot that just got played? You would think like that, of course, because time and more red you see every day will make you psychologically start thinking that you made a big mistake nonstop, and like you made the biggest mistake. Should you exit? Should I just be like, should I listen to I should have listened to her, I should have listened to him, I should have. Make your conviction, and at that time, at this very moment where you feel frustrated of holding, you need to come up with a mission. Write a mission, not just squeeze. Oh, I came in here, I made my position, now I'm waiting for that. No, that's not enough. Again, that's AB's way of doing things. I made a mission, and I said my mission from now on. Okay, I see. There's no way we will know when Judgment Day is going to happen. That's realistically, not just figurative speech. None of us know when Judgment Day is. But in the stock market's Judgment Day, no one exactly knows the date. That's why there's no dates given. But doesn't matter how long that process is, I will have more and more and more. That was my mission of these stocks, of GME and AMC until Judgment Day. So when I walk in, I can open up my books and say, hey, God, I'm here. You get what I'm trying to go with that. So I made a mission. That was my mission. What's yours? So you don't want to think too much. You don't want to feel like it's too tired of holding. Then change, reverse the way of thinking and say, you know what? Do I even have enough? Instead of thinking, I hope the price can go to, and asking the questions, can the price go to 50,000? Can the price go to 100,000? No. Why not reverse the way of thinking and say, do I even have enough stocks? No. Why don't I get more? So if the more I have, the less pressure I have on me to wait for higher and higher and higher numbers. Now, of course, AB is not telling you to go ahead and sell for, whatever number, whether 50, 100, 300, 50,000, 100,000. But I'm just trying to give you my input and my output also to you on the whole matter on how I can defeat these psychological effects is by counter thinking them, because I almost feel like I have two people in me. And almost every person have that. And there's nothing crazy about that, by the way. You always have to contradict something, which is an entity for itself in you. And you have someone who speaks the opposite. So this person is saying, in you, saying, do it. This other voice is saying, don't do it. And you're going to have to weigh out which one is better. For me, if this person is speaking in general, why not go forward? If you go forward all the way, 100%, That's one thing I always say. If you believe in something, doesn't matter what it is, you have the conviction in it, 100%, all that stuff, and you give it your 100%, there is no way you'll ever fall backwards. At least, even if you don't reach it, worst case scenario, you will fall forward. So somewhere closer to that objective. So set the mission, brother. Set a mission and go forward and counter those thinking and get these thoughts out of your head, so that mentally and spiritually it's not weighing down on you to make you make a decision that is not going to be beneficial for your overall well-being, whether financially or mentally. Hopefully that answers it, brother. Hopefully you're also your squeeze could be as soon as possible, as swift as possible, so that everybody can make as much money as soon as possible. Breeze, thank you, AB. Where have you been all this time? I struggled finding a YouTuber who can trust with my sixth sense. Breeze, why I haven't, I've only been around for over a month now in this channel stuff, but I felt like in the beginning when I was seeing all these OGs, the Trays, the Matt Cores, the Lus, and all that, I literally thought that I thought more highly of them, and I thought that they were gonna give you everything. And I'm not throwing any digs at them. I thought that they were gonna do their thing, but I've realized that after these guys, made their moolah, whether it's via YouTube, clicks and subscriptions or whatever, or whether it's via the market, they kind of, in a way, took a step back. And that pains me, because when everyone looked at them or viewed them as leaders and voice for the community, a leader can never take a step back. You always got to be in the front row of the army. If I ever see, that's why you see any war that was ever fought or won, or even lost sometimes, but if it was won, you would see that their leader was always in the front rows. He wasn't hiding in the back, waiting for people to react, and he just collect the fruits of the victory. So it's crucial. It's crucial. So for me, I'm not saying I want to be a leader or no leader. I just seen so much chaos, because after they took a step back, so many more random people from different ranks in the movement just jumped in. The ones that know how to lead, the ones that don't know how to lead, the ones that know, the ones that don't know, the reporters. And it creates a lot of division amongst the ranks of the community. So we can't have that. So that's my only goal. And even if I can just influence one more person in a sense manner, not into when they sell or when they buy, just to give them a broader image on thinking of how the market works and the financial world that we live in, then I'm more than grateful to that. Because that's what it's all about. Again, I have my mission, I set a mission, and I'm on my mission. That's my mission. What's yours, guys? Sanjay, another wolf is in the house. AB. Fahad Muhammad, $8. What is that? Sorry, I'm getting to these late. Is that tlry? I'm assuming, because that's the only ticker symbol that I can think of that is close in that area. So let's see. Now now I really want to know what happened with tlry anyways. Okay, so tlry, no, I don't know if it made a move in the aftermarket. I can't see it in here as well. I only can see it on my charts on my phone. But yeah, $8. Kim, Wolfpacks. Fidelity for order flow. Well, it sounds, apparently it does, but it is not published amongst the whole community that it actually does payment for order flow. But then again, guys, that's why I said that payment for order flow is a problem that is yay big compared to this big, the actual problem, which is the non-regulation of dark pools. I mean, I read to you guys in one of the videos, and I know I have a lot of more people in here watching now, but I can break to you right now why the dark pool is a problem for us. I know many YouTubers probably talked to you, mentioned something about dark pools, but I will break to you as we speak right now, the dark pools, the SCC, and if somebody to some YouTuber, let me just break this, uh, you know, this ice. If somebody told you that the .scc has the power to access and regulate dark pools, they are giving you and selling you a big fat lie. The dark pools, whether the ones that are just trading government securities or the ones that are trading regular securities like AMC's, GameStop, and all the other stuff, those right now, there is many of them because there's many dark pools, you know, competition, they make money, they see it was profitable amongst the institutional world. Um, and again, I'm all for dark pools to coexist. We need them so that we don't have crashes and dumps and pumps on the regular stock market every day. But what should not exist is the non-regulation that it is right now. The SCC does not have to, like, it's written really literally that these dark pools do not have to abide. Some of these dark pools do not have to abide with fair investor protection and fair reporting or anything. Like basically, it's a wild, wild west in some of these dark pools, and some of these dark pools are AB's 1,000% hunch feeling that that's where all our stocks are going in majority of the time to be utilized as collateral to get financial loans from financial institutions like the likes of Barclays, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and Citigroup, and so forth, and so more and more and more and more. And those financial institutions, they're the same people that brought down the market in 2018 and 2008, not in 18. Um, and the very same, and they're going to be the very same to bring down the economy in the new era as well that we're in. And they go to the Federal Reserve and they get the money and they bring it to you. The crazy thing is this is in plain sight. Look at the Fed repo and reverse repo operations on a daily basis and you'll understand. You'll see. We have never been, again, guys, when the last time we crashed in 2008, the record for repo and reverse repo operations was 800 million something, 800 billion. And that was like, wow. It's not, it's so mind boggling to me to see that we have been doing 1.9 trillion. That was the record, which was December 31st of 2021, the last day of this last year. There was 1.9 trillion, almost $2 trillion done in one repo transaction. Um, Around the holidays, they just had to do something really good for the community, I guess. So you could tell from my tone how I could see like that obviously I'm being very, very I'm not serious. I'm making fun of these numbers because it's a joke that the crime is in plain sight. It's just people are looking everywhere else, looking at smaller things rather than looking at the bigger issue. So the black, like, how can they get what? And you're tied now. It's going to tie up again. You're like, well, what does that have to do with payment for order flow? Well, if these market makers or hedge funds, if they cannot get these payment for order, I mean, the reason why they pay for these orders to come to them is because they know what to do with these orders and they know what to use them as. They're using our own orders to get money on it. It's kind of like, this is the worst example in the world, but unfortunately I have to use it and it has to be the one because again, that's the first one that just came up to mind. It's kind of like, it's the worst example ever. But bear with me. Know that my intentions are not terrible, whatever. But I visited so many parts of the world, and I've seen so much, so that way I can. So there's places that I've been to in this world where a parent who would be on the street as homeless and would have their tiny kid who would be sitting next to a traffic light, and they'll be collecting money, but they use the kid as the image, to make that money. Now, whether it's true, they really need it, or where they're just using that so they can approach your emotions and get your emotions to be moved, and give them money. That's besides the point. But the example here is that that's what they're using. So in order for them to make their money, they needed our orders. It's so insidious. Again, this is AB's model. It doesn't have to be true. This is what AB thinks. So they take these orders. That's why they pay payment for order flow. Robinhood, Weeble, Moomoo, whatever, they all are happy because they're making money. Yeah, you're paying me to give you an order that I have to, by law, as a dealer broker, I should be putting onto the lit market anyways. So instead, I'll give it to you and you put it on the lit market. You're the market maker, right? It's kind of like going to the principal or to the teacher and trusting them with you're turning in your exam or your work. I'm giving it to you, right? No, you're supposed to turn in your exam in that box. No, but I'm giving it to you. You're the person I trust. You're the teacher. But in this case, is obviously not the case. The market maker would love to pay them to get these orders, and then they route them via dark pools so that they could use that as securities or orders that they possess. They hide them in index funds, IWM, and then they ship them to financial institutions so that financial institutions can utilize them as collateral when they get money from the Federal Reserve overall, and they get it. That's why you see repo and reverse repo operations of 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 trillion dollars every day. That's what's keeping the market moving, and that's why I think that even Fidelity, whether it's payment for order flow or not, they're going to do this, and a lot of times they can do these things without us even knowing, because even the SEC can't know it, because the dark pools, some of those dark pools are out there by law, literally by law. They do not have to report anything. They don't even have to abide by the like it's so crazy. Like, you could go to the Federal Register and read that regulation that I wanted everybody to go and vote on, or not vote, sorry, comment on. And it's in the Federal Register due for April 18. The comments are due to come back this April 18. And when you open it and you look at what that file is, it's all about ATS and regulating ATS. It's a long title, and you click on it and you read. If you have the heart and you have the patience to read through these documents, it's not too long. Just read through it. I promise you will vomit. I promise you'll vomit. Not that you look forward or you want to go vomit, but you're going to vomit from the kind of world that right now that we have, the regulation that we have right now. And the SEC is trying to change that regulation into where it does not matter what kind of entity, whether it's a dark pool, the professional name is ATS, or whether it's an ATS that is trading privately or government security or regular securities. Everything has to be reported. You have to report everything, what's in those, what orders, what was traded, everything. And that, my dear brothers and sisters, is the most, in my opinion, important thing, because if that gets crashed, that's their gateway bridge. I think that's what I think. That gets crashed, you no longer have to worry about a payment for order flow problem. You don't have to worry about so many other little problems. Why? Because why would this person, the market maker or whatever hedge fund, pay those dealer brokers money to route orders to them if they can't reroute those orders to utilize them and hide them in the dark pools? It's kind of like a non-reactive nuclear vessel like Chernobyl in the Ukraine. It's useless, but it's still dangerous and it's still there, but it's useless. No one uses it. It's done deal. And again, that was a terrible example as well. Maybe he's known for making some really great examples sometimes, and sometimes he makes some really bad examples, but especially when he's fasting. But AB is always going to be emotional, and you know that. Pete, how's it going? Welcome back. Stasia, I'm not going to give you the... Look, she is, Stasia. I'm not going to give you my throat for slaughter, similar to what happened with Pantheon. So I will not be making that mistake. Better keep Stashia's name out your MFM mouth. Man, I missed the guy. We had Stasia, we had Pantheon in the group here yesterday. Um, and it's unfortunate what's happening obviously with him. Because I enjoy that podcast and the vibe and with you all of you guys there. It's just that atmosphere for me. I enjoy at that time to pop in, chime in, and be with that whole group. Um, we can call it a wolf pack if we want to, but it's unfortunate that people are stealing his his work, his ideas, and not giving him credit and all that stuff. So now he's a mod for he said for what is his name? Sorry guys, again fasting, so you get to forget. You guys are almost like this is not fasting anymore. You look like you're having dementia or Parkinson's. No, I promise, guys. No, I don't know the guys' names. I know him, but I just mentioned it yesterday. It was what is it? Boss Blunts. I think. Yeah, Boss Blunts. Um, he's a mod there, and it's still I try to influence him and control, like try to spin the pressure on him, saying, "No, dude, you can't stop until you work those trademarks. Until just come out. Even like sometimes, honestly, I show up there for Pantheon." More than what Pantheon has to offer. Now, if I learn one or two things along the way, perfect. But I show up for Pantheon. Um, Great voice, great podcast at night, works great for me, my timing, my schedule, and everything. Why not? So, Pantheon, if you're hearing this, I'm applying a little more pressure again for you to pop back on and let the haters do what they want to do, and eventually, God will work His magic. Uh-oh, look. Looks like Stasia is very, very known, even in the Wolfpack community as well. It's all good. How are you doing? I'm holding for however long it takes. F these crooks. And it's all good, my friend. I'm just gonna say your name as a response. Okay, Pete, I will hold on. I will hold until my kids are well off. Yep, there you go, Pete. See, have your mission, guys. It got spicy in the end. Oh, okay. Is there something I should know, guys? Stasia and Sanjay. Um, Maybe he loves his fair share of gossip. I used to always love watching that Mario Lopez show, like extra, extra. I know you probably guys are thinking like AB is lame. Um, Look, now Stasia is singing too. So, where? No, I'm not gonna sing. I have the worst deep voice, so it's not made for singing. Did I miss something? Stasia, you did not miss much. You did miss a lot, but here and there. Oh no, you're talking to Sanjay. Yeah, I want to know what spicy stuff happened. That's if I'm not like a mile away from all the comments. On Ape Radio, Amy came and started a fight. What? Well, thank you, Stasia. After, but guys, you could go look and obviously come back and let me know. Now, AB is interested to know what was happening. I mean, I hope all is good because, again, as far as Wolfpack channel, the only person, I'll be honest, besides the lovely people that popped up in here, like Sanjay and Mr. L, and a few other people that pop in here show some love. I know Cam. That's the only person I know from their group, and he's reached out to me, and I respect the guy. I love the guy actually. I like his style as well. So, and I know that the feeling is mutual. So, um, I don't know who's Amy, honestly. Juicy. MZ hair slapped him into orbit. Oh, Froggy's channel's turned into Jerry Springer? Ah. Oh dear, AB got no mods. Yeah, AB have no mods. I don't know. Sanjay, you made me feel like I was poor or something. I'm good, Sanjay. Do I need mods? What are mods for, anyways? I've seen, I know that Pantheon is with Boss Blunt, and I know that Pam, lovely Pam, our flower and great Pam, she's a mod for some other channels she mentioned on her description. Um, but I don't know what do the mods do? Like what is the mods for? See, you guys could teach me as well. Kim A, Mellow Ape. Well said, well said. Yeah, I could get away with everything. Okay, let's see. Peter, thank you. It needs to stay this way. No mods ever, please. Well, Peter, again, I don't know what the mods do and what they are. Um, Besides the fact that I see them in chats when they have that setting tab, um, next to their name or something. I don't know. Is that what some sort of knighting situation where the owner of the channel knights a mod or something? Like now you have the power. You're officially a knight. Oh no, Sanjay, Peter is good people's. Oh, okay, so that's what mods do. So they, when you have a lot of people, okay, okay, I'm getting to know it now. Okay, when you have a lot of people who are possibly like shills jumping in and throwing in crazy stuff, tantrums and all that, um, you're talking like these people basically tackle that while you continue the show. Okay, I see. Well, we don't need that, guys, right? You can see that. Stasha said when the channel grows, he will need them. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, where's the questions, guys? Come on. I'm pretty sure I mean, I know I was Branton for a while and I tackled a lot of things, but if it comes here, I trust AB will address it. Boot them if he has to. Too many mods, it's too many other live streams. Starting to look like gangs or high school drama. Well, I haven't been there, brother, but I do know one thing that I don't want, um, you know, anyone else to speak for me other than myself, uh, because I trust what I want to say. I don't trust myself to say what I want to say to my peoples here, to the family. But in the same time, um, I don't see a problem with someone, um, you know, blocking out shills or something. If we ever get like 500,000 or 10, million subscribers and they're all like in the live chat is flying or whatever, maybe they can, do something like that. That's fine. But as far as them airing out their own content and put my name on it, no, I'm cool on that. I'm with Peter. That would interrupt him though. He can't watch the screen constantly. Okay, I feel it. I feel it. I see both sides. I see all sides. Oh, who am I seeing here? The lion is in the house too. Appreciate it. Lion, brother, are we close to it? um, Hopefully we are. Again, I think we are. Oh, so Pantheon is having radio tonight? Is he back? If he's back, I wanna show up for sure. In the clutch. He's always in the clutch. What's up, my man? Jumping in here late. Just took my 4-hour PTA board exam. Oh, hopefully I passed. I missed all the market action today. Well, you didn't miss the action really because you didn't want to be there for that action. It was a disgusting action in the clutch. Best of luck to hopefully you ace that exam, brother. And wow, I mean, you know, it's. I hope you did great. Um, so I look forward to hearing from you to tell me what bring it back to the chat when you get the results, please. Um, and I hope I'm crossing my fingers for you that you passed. Frankie Muhammad, what's up, brother? How are you? Frankie, are you still in the chat? If you are, please put a thumbs up or something, or give me a sign, so I can, because I want to ask you something. Wow, Stasia, stop making me blush now. My cheeks are gonna turn red. I blush easily. Um, when you say when people say stuff like that, I like to feel it, but I don't like to hear it. After all, aren't we all? Don't we all want to feel it rather than just hearing it? But I do know that you guys have love for me and Stasia as well. I will never make a mistake of mispronouncing your name. Um, Trust me, I know that. I love my cheeks. I don't want them to be red unorganically. Um, and hopefully you guys also know and feel my love for you guys. I mean, you guys have no idea how much not just admiration, but to what extent, to what high standard I put all of you in basically in my life and in my heart. It's that's why whether it's a million of you, eight of you, 25 of you, whatever it is, that's all that matters. And it's just about clarifying as much to as many. I was going to use another bad example, but I'm not going to use that one because that one is a really terrible example. You guys want to hear the terrible example? I'll tell you what was going on in my mind. But again, you can't count it against me. I was going to say that remember all the great prophets, whichever prophets that have come on earth, they had a small following at some point, but then they ended up, growing, and because they were spreading the word of God, the truth, they were listened to. But again, I did not use it, so you can't use that against me because I'm nowhere near that. I'm a student just like everyone else. J.A., welcome back to the family, brother. Uh, Miss you. So, what's up with you? FSI Psychiatric. I come to AV's channel for treatment in the clutch. Better inspiration, advice, and free. Can't beat that. Well, I'm always available at your guys' service any given time. That brings tears to the heart. Thank you, in the clutch. Eric Cuttle is in the house as well. What's up? Welcome back, brother. What's up, AB? Just got home in time to catch your stream. Ran a load of Lay's potato chips from West Chicago to Omaha, Nebraska. Wow, that's so much fun, man. Wow. Welcome back, Eric. Pocus. Welcome also for you too as well. Welcome back. Great stuff, AB. Love listening to AMC chat. Well, it brings me pleasure to hear that and to have you here as well, Pocus. Thank you for the nod. Biome Lit Exchange. Yes, listen to Eric, guys. And see, guys, this is why Fidelity could be also like utilizing payment for order flow and the other apps. That's why I say payment for order flow can be solved if you solve the major other problem, which is where they, like for me, it's like, okay, they doing this crime. What can we do to, where are they taking this? How are they processing this crime? They're processing it where? So when I found out that it's going through the dark pools, okay, now I want to see how can we end this? Because if you end their bridge, their supply line, then there's no more infrastructure. the whole infrastructure it's broken, there's no use of it. That's why we don't know. Like, as far as I care, all the apps that are saying that they're going straight to lit exchange, they could be also processing your packaging your crap and giving it over to someone else. So I'm not gonna dive and just stick in that whirlwind where it's their world. That's their world. I'm not gonna jump into that confusion. I'm just gonna go to the source and break that power sideline, supply line. Uh, of course, with you guys' help if we can. AB by himself is nobody. As you can see, even his YouTube channel is not that. So we need the helps people. The people need to speak, and when we break that supply line, that whole infrastructure comes down, and payment for order flow will just become useless. Even if it still exists, it will become useless. In fact, here's how I see the SEC doing it. After they see that it's no longer beneficial, watch, mark my words. Maybe looking into the future now will tell you that they'll come up with something saying, oh, if anybody gets caught doing payment for order flow, first they're going to prohibit it. And if anybody uses it, they will get some crazy punishment just simply because they know no one is going to do it anymore because it's useless. It just became obsolete. How can we make it obsolete? Break that power source, that supply line where they go to and come back from. I think my voice got a little loud, did it? Sorry guys. I'm just excited that we're getting closer and closer to breaking my fast timeline. um, and by the way, guys, fasting, just so you guys would know, I have a little story to tell you guys, and it's a very quick one. I know a lot of people, whether you're Muslim or not, do good in life. Um, and that's the point of it, is to do good. A lot of people want to do it only in certain holidays or certain times, like in Ramadan. Well, at least that's the objective, is to try to get better and grow yourself spiritually, not rather than just physically and mentally. But the idea is not just for you to do it in this month. The idea is to hopefully be that person forever and do that constantly. And in fact, in doing so and following that model in my head, as I was growing up, I've seen that was the how you can get, your how can you feel complete on the inside? Because you always feel incomplete no matter what you do. Um, for me, that's how I felt complete. I feel more happy when I give. I get my pleasure when I see it on others' faces. That's me. I know everybody's different, but that's for me. So I'm not a person. I think it's a curse in a way. My pleasure is gained by seeing it on others' faces or on others in general when they express that they've gotten theirs. Um, so I've had a friend in my restaurant who, and his name is Danny, and I will put a small video of Danny speaking to you guys. Uh, Danny breaks my heart because Danny is a person who was, at one point, he was lifting weights and he was in shape and strong, an amazing guy. He got a little older now, but one day he got into a really freakish accident, and he was no longer able to walk again. And unfortunately, because of that, his family put him in a nursing home as he was getting older and older, and he has an apartment. So Danny came to my restaurant once on his chair, and from the accident, he couldn't also talk normal. So when he talks, he got like this twist in his mouth that goes up. So when he speaks, it's not clear, um, and everyone overlooks him. And the whole world, it pains me to see how the world views the man, um, as some sort of handicapped or mentally ill or something person, but he's normal. He's 100% normal. He's perfect. He's more healthy than me. Just the unfortunate events in life, the cards that he was dealt was like that. But he came up, and no one wants to listen to the guy. Everyone overlooks him, literally. And you can only see that if you take the time out of your life to see somebody else and put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So it's been in that location that we got in that restaurant. It's been a blessing to me because I learned that Danny has been helping me more than I've been helping him. because what has been happening is I seen Danny. I came up to him, and he's speaking. I didn't understand first. We formed this friendship, and I've seen that because of the accident, it affected more than just his spine and everything. Not just him being paralyzed. He wasn't able to use his hands to grab food, so he was always like, it's such an unfortunate event for him, But that's his path in life, and that's what God's willed for him. So he's got to, push through. So what I do is Danny, the nursing home that his family unfortunately have put him in, they bring him out every Friday and Saturday to the mall, and the mall is where my restaurant is in. So when I seen that, I made it an objective every Friday and Saturday when Danny comes and gets his lunch. The lunch is always on AB and it's paid for. It's not that, because it's my restaurant, that means he doesn't that it's not covered the meal. No, because I obviously want to show my employees and my staff that nothing goes unpaid for. It's not like there's no luxuries out here. Everybody's got to pay. Everybody's got to pull their weight, and you got to push. Doesn't mean if we exist in a good world or if you have a great heart, that means you overlook all the necessities that needs to still happen. That's food. Even though AB still purchased it from all the vegetables and all the food and all the euros and all the meat and everything, but I had to show them, lead them by example, my employees, and show them that everything has a price. If it's not coming out of your pocket, it's coming out of somebody's pocket. So therefore, you have to always have that, that care. Like you have to care for somebody or someone else's. You always have to care about waste, because we know, again, we live on this planet. Food is not guaranteed. I've been on parts on this globe, guys, and even in this country, forget this globe, and even in this country, where food was not a privilege. Like food was like it was a privilege. Like they were really, 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 really excited to taste, like some parts I've seen them, they were excited to taste meat or chicken, meats in general, once or twice a year if they were lucky, because some ceremonies, some people will come and donate and stuff like that. Like things are rough in this planet, guys. We're all humans and brothers and sisters. So when I seen, anyways, Danny can't eat his food, and by the time he finishes, trying to eat, and it's all over his face, and it's cold, ice cold. I saw how much God have blessed me. You would see how much God have blessed you, or whatever entity you believe in as a higher power. Even if you don't believe in another higher power, you just have to know that you're blessed. You can eat your food hot. You can eat your food warm. Somebody, can you believe that that's a privilege to some? So me and Danny became very close friends. Every Friday and Saturday, Danny comes. And when Danny comes, AB leaves work, leaves everything. AB goes, and AB basically feeds Danny all his food with my own hands. You know why? Not because I'm trying to gain something. I don't make anything out of it. I get more blessings from the situation, and but the look on Danny's face, the fact that he talks, he even tells me, he opened up to me because he said, "You're the only one that come and talk with me, because everyone walks by and overlooks me. They just see me as a person in a chair. They see the chair, they don't see the person sitting in it." This is his words exactly. We are more blessed, guys. We are all blessed. No matter how bad our cards are, we just don't see others' struggles, And his dream is that he would love to just go back to his house. He owns a house, but because he can't survive on his own, his family threw him in a nursing home. So throughout this whole thing, I come to find that Danny actually helped me more than I've helped Danny, because Danny have showed me how much greatness and happiness and blessings I have in my life by looking at his, and by listening to him and hearing what he had to share, so that I wouldn't be one of those assholes in the world that are walking around and looking at the chair and not looking at the person that is sitting in it. So yeah, I did my best, guys, to hold it in. I swear. Let's light up the mood again. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna put a little video and have Danny speak to you guys, or like say hello to all of you guys. Always remember Danny. Always do something good for the community, guys, for everyone, whoever you know, or whoever you can. Hopefully, you'll make it tonight at Pantheon's radio. I would love to. I mean, of course, if he's on, I'll make it. Oh, Veronica, welcome back to the chat. Welcome back. Bro, Radwan, you're in UK? I didn't even know. That explains why you were talking about that person in London, that analyst. Okay. Yeah. Um, well, much love to all the family in UK and all over the world. Blue wrench means they're a mod. Thanks for the explanation, Tastasia. You know, I'm very illiterate when it comes to the mod talk. What do you think of Warrior Day Trader? Is there a YouTuber that you think is a legit day trader? Uh, are there any course you can recommend? Hmm. There are. I'm pretty sure there's many out there. I would say okay, for as far as day trading, the problem is I can't put like a reference to someone that would end up probably trying to say, "Oh, come to this Discord, pay this much or pay that much," because it's so crazy that people would try to charge for something that you're making money. And if you think, and if you're a YouTuber out there and you're hearing this, and you're making money and you're very successful in doing it on a daily basis, why would you still have the need or want the need to charge people, whether that punk $20 a month, $30 a month, $10 a month? I understand you have to pay mods. Apparently, I'm learning more about mods right now, and you have to bot commands and you have to make a infrastructure or whatever. But wouldn't that be your ultimate gift to these people? Look at all the great people behind. They left, they gave, they didn't collect from the people, because at the end of the day, where we're going in our end, we're not taking anything from this life with us except our good deeds in life. So you're gonna go naked and you're gonna be in that hole 6 feet deep. So just the only thing that's gonna keep you warm down there, where you're going, is what you did good for this planet. And as far as money, as far as whatever, trust me, it can buy you a bigger gravestone and whatever, but it's not gonna keep you warm at night. It's not gonna protect you or do you much where you're heading. So it's all about what you do, guys, in this life. That's our ultimate test. Okay, guys, I'm getting closer and closer to that time. Oh, good. I got to the end of these because I have to go and break my fast in about uh, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something like that. If you guys have any quick questions, please go ahead, throw them in right now. Um, you don't miss a thing, AV. No vibrating phone today. Sorry, Stasia. um, I do have like so many comments. You see that? And I don't know how. I don't think I even activated this Zynga. You know, Zynga Texas Hold'em. Um, I don't gamble, guys, but I play like, that's that on Facebook poker. I'm good with cards and stuff like that, and sometimes I do it. But it's been like a while since I've played it, and they just out of nowhere sent this like saying like a notification saying, "Come play. We'll give you some tokens." See you later. Get your hookah on. One question though, what do you think about public? Um, that's where I buy my shares. Honestly, I have not done my Stasia. If you're watching this, I don't know. If you're not, I'll update you in Pantheons tonight if I see you there. But yeah, I haven't done my due diligence on that. I don't think, guys. From the get go, I've always said that this this is my humble opinion, guys. Again, everybody has the right to say their opinion. I don't think that any of this makes any difference if you bought it and you paid for it and it's DTC covered, that broker is DTCC covered. then you're good as far as when it's time to collect your tendies. As far as them defaulting, the fear of the broker defaulting, well, that's why they're backed by the DTCC. They're the insurance policymaker. So if they're sponsored by them, they will have to pay that tab. They can't pay you right now. That's why they made the halts and the suspensions, all these rules that they implemented. A good question, by the way, Stasia. And they implemented all these halt suspensions is for money movement. When somebody gets shaky, halt, suspension, get that money transferred over. You know what's up. That's what happened with Robinhood. That's why they, took the buy button out. Not only on GameStop, by the way, guys. I hate when people confuse that only for GameStop. They took it out for most of the meme stock. It was a list of like 7 or 14 of them. Obviously AMC is one of them. I would never overlook someone with a disability. It's heartbreaking to see that too. I used to do emergency home healthcare, and they just want to be treated like everyone else. Yes, that's heartwarming. Stasia, thank you so much for sharing that. Guys, it's not only just to humans. Also, you look at animals out there. There are birds out there that are dying for eating plastic because there's no food. So, you can start feeding some birds out there. Whistle to them; they'll come. Keep half of his food hot in the back until he finishes his first serving. AB, you're remarkable. Oh my God, I'm only doing my due diligence. Like just doing what makes sense at that point, Stashi. I'm pretty sure everyone else in here will do a whole lot better. I'm just, doing what I think I can see, but nothing close to what many of you and many greats out there can do. I'm very little. Like I wish I could do more. Okay. Um, Kenny, pop back up. Well, guys, what does IPKP stand for? Oh, okay. For Kenny, that's his name in little his little and little in initials basically. Well, all right, guys. I have to go break my fast. If anybody had a question, please, I'll count to 5. If I don't see any, I will begin to say the final sayings. Okay. All right, guys. Well, this comes to the end of our time. Thank you so much for attending. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone, and hopefully I entertained everyone in this live stream. So thank you so much again, guys, for all your time, and once again, much love, AV Investments.